Can you buy a home with no credit score? Yes, but it's probably not going to work out. I'm Kyle Murad, your mortgage broker, and I help you understand your mortgage and make smart financial decisions for the purchase of your new home. Now, credit scores weren't invented until the 1950s when an engineer and mathematician got together named Bill Fair and Elijah Isaac. They came up with an credit scoring system to replace the antiquated ways that lenders were using before with subjective, inconsistent results. Little handshake, little wink here, got the job done. They needed an objective way to evaluate the risk that a borrower presents. So a credit score determines the likelihood that you will repay your mortgage. The better credit score means a lower risk to the lender, which means they'll give you a better interest rate and better terms, such as a lower down payment. Credit scores are used almost universally across the board as the number one factor to determine your eligibility for a car loan, mortgage loan, and many others. So if you don't have a score, can you still get a mortgage? Yes, and we'll cover that in 2 seconds. First off, it's important to know there are a few different types of credit scores. FICO is the name of the score formula, and there's a few different. FICO 2, 4, 5. These are used by mortgage lenders, and the underwriter, which is very important, the one who determines whether you will get approved. FICO 8, 9, 10, they're used by those online systems like Credit Karma, and they look at factors with different weights. For example, they usually look at a shorter credit history, which means if you have a late payment 3 years ago, they might not see it on your Credit Karma report, but they will see it on your mortgage report. That is part to use in a short. So make sure you ask your loan officer, moi, to check your credit the way the mortgage underwriter will. So make sure you don't rely on those online reports and you ask a loan officer to complete a credit score for you. Now, if you've never borrowed any money or opened any credit cards, you probably don't have a credit score. Can you still get a home? Yes, you can, but the lender still needs to determine whether you are worthy or whether you pose a risk and that you will pay your loan on time. They do this by collecting 12 monthly bank statements and looking at consistent payments you've made to something like your phone or Netflix or your utilities or your rent or anything that is consistent and paid over 12 months every month on time. And as long as you do that for at least 3 credit lines, they will give you a de facto score that they will use for your interest rate and your eligibility. If you don't have a credit score and you want to know if you can get pre-approved, reach out to me at collegecloseloans.com. If you have more questions, put them in the comments below and subscribe as I cover the mortgage basics as well as finer questions. You can always follow me for a little more humor on Instagram at collegecloseloans. And if you're ready to get pre-approved, go to collegemuradapplication.com.